Welcome back to another episode of the On Your Left Starlist Power Rankings, the official pre-race show where we break down the upcoming pro start list in 30 minutes or less. Today, we're headed to Wales for Ironman 70.3 Swansea. My name is Connor Bollinger, and I'm joined by my co-host, pro triathlete Evan Price, and the legend himself, intern Blake Pfeiffer. Our guest this episode joins us all the way from Derbyshire, located in the Midlands of England. He's a pro YouTuber and a fan of the brand. Please welcome Daniel Ward.
That intro is so much better in the flesh. Really hits.
Dan, I was trying to look up some Derbyshire fun facts. You have to give us something, because I'm going to admit, your Wikipedia page for this part of the country is a little lacking. Like, give me two fun facts of Derbyshire.
There's a lot of nothing going off, and that's about it. There's a lot of silk mills and all different things like that. Lots of things. I feel like
I'm from the Derbyshire of America, which is Ohio. So it's about the same thing.
Yeah, you are.
I think I bring the average age down in my area significantly.
There you go.
I just stay on my Garmin screen anyway. I don't look at the surroundings. So
there you go.
All right, we're doing things a little bit differently. A little special episode here. We're doing a tier 2 power rankings. Part of why we're bringing Dan on is he knows this local talent. He's in country. And, before we do the tier 1, I mean, what we pride ourselves on here on your left is talking about the guys that nobody else really talks about. Learning about these athletes, because some of them are going to end up being in the tier 1 eventually. I mean, we see it all the time here in North America. So we're trying something different, and that's why, we're going to take a stab at it. So, Dan, thanks for coming on, and some of your notes here in the power rankings
Excellent notes. Amazing notes.
Hysterical.
Thanks for having me. Look forward to getting stuck in.
Let's dive right in. Who in the tier 2 is a top echelon guy here?
Started with the men, yeah. Yeah, there's a couple names here I think that we can agree. Now, I know we had some back and forth on who's actually going to be tier 2 versus the end of the tier 1 here. There's a guy that we have put. Now, these are kind of small for me. Freddie Webb is still in there, right? Our tier 2?
Yep.
Freddie Webb to me is one who jumps out as mid to bottom tier 1 even in a race like this. I really like Freddie. I like Freddie.
Somebody had said the words chiseled from stone. That guy's been training with Harry Palmer and Leon Chevalier. He's been exposed to some stuff.
He trains with the boys. I mean, if you're training with Harry and Leon right now, you are flying. And he's a great swim biker, right? I mean, he's gonna be up there,
super strong.
Coming into T2. Yeah,
he runs a couple 114s. This guy right here, he looks like he plays rugby.
I know.
114s.
The reason I'm going to say this man's chiseled from stone, Dan, I'm sure you know this reference too. He got called out recently by some absolute couch warrior comments about his physique. First off, what sport are you watching these days? If you're going to call a guy too big in triathlon, have you seen we got Magnus Ditlev is like 7'2". Christian Blumenfeld looks like he's ready to take a handoff in the NFL. How is that comment still hanging around?
The guy's a set of lungs on legs. Did you see how he dealt with it? In the next video, they were just eating spinach. Yeah,
that's so. We were talking about that. Yeah,
we
were talking about that with us, and we're like, "That's my favorite response to one of those comments I've ever seen." Like, that's so funny. Those guys are probably a blast to hang out and train with. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he'll have a great day this day because he's got lots of allies in the field, training with those boys. He's well liked in the area.
How's his run progressing? Any I know they've been training a house down bike wise, I know, but where's his run at?
He's been hinting at a bit of a hip niggle, so unsure, but race day adrenaline, I'm sure that won't affect him. And
he's could be a psychological thing. It could be, he could be getting in their heads. All right, moving on. Another guy here who's been in our tier 1 multiple times. He had a pretty good outing at Eagleman. I think is Quentin DeVos. Any objection for a tier 1 here in the tier 2?
Maybe second.
I think I just want to say it's going to be a sea swim. It can be quite rough. So if you're a poor swimmer, the gaps might be bigger than another event.
I think Swansea's swim is tough enough that this drops him to tier 2. And I think, mean, he was 17th at Eagleman, right? Is that what we had down there?
But it's not a tight 17. Yeah. That's a loose 17.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, Blake. It's not like Eagleman was not super thick through the top 20. It had a good top 10, but it wasn't very thick through there.
Spread thin.
He is a familiar name on this list, so I feel like we could knock him out pretty early. So here we go, Quinn DeVos in the tier 2. Anyone else in the tier 1 we see here, guys?
I want Lewis
Fred?
1. Josh Lewis.
Josh Lewis, what do you got on him?
Yeah,
I think he's knocking on tier 1's door as well.
Dan's got some good. I think Josh Lewis is tier 1, but just depends on what he comes in with fitness wise.
All of his racing recently seems to be struggling in the heat, and it is. I know you're gonna say dew point or dew factor, aren't you? But it is forecast quite hot this week, so I'm wondering
what is it looking at?
It's a steamy 72 degrees out there. I don't know. This is
my goodness.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Let me actually look up the weather before I make fun of everybody from the UK. Okay.
I was gonna say it's 110 here today.
I think he's suffered. Whether it's actually hot or not, he's suffered in the heat. Right? We've seen Sam Laidlow, Johnny Brownlee really suffer for months on end from bad races in the heat. Mm-hmm. Could be a factor.
I mean, God, it just okay. I will take what we think is hot out of this. It's going to be on Saturday, Sunday. There's going to be a little spike in heat. Yeah. By the time they're hitting the run, it's going to be like 72 to 4 with like 50% humidity. Okay, but that's still not that bad. It was probably hotter in Roth, I'm sure, like hotter in Roth and Frankfurt for sure.
Also, we're talking 70.3 here. You're done before noon, you know?
Yeah. So Josh might be able to hang on in there. I mean, that might not be hot enough to where Josh is blowing up on the run because of the heat.
Looking at his scouting report, he's a teacher, probably big on LinkedIn. Looks like he's big on LinkedIn. YouTuber, entrepreneur. He's got a lot of appearances to keep up with, so that's enough motivation where I'm comfortable throwing him in tier 1 because the guy's a brand. Well. He's a walking brand.
I like the UK Justin
He
Riley.
raced a ton in 2024 too. He raced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in 2024 with a DNF in Barcelona. But that was only one DNF out of 8 races or 9 races or whatever. That's great racing. He's got chops.
Dan, I'm going to throw
my
another
opportunity
guy.
Yeah, go on. I was going to say my opportunity to be biased. I was going to throw Will Crudenton up there. The guy.
This is the guy I want to talk about.
Yeah,
Who is it we're talking about?
He's so
top
chill.
tier name, Crudenton.
Will Crudenton?
It is a top tier
my
name.
goodness.
It's a great
Absolute
name.
all-time name.
Right, rationale, and I'm prepared to get vetoed. He's that laid back about racing. He goes into these things without any pressure on himself. When he trains properly, he's in great shape. His debut in Roth, 7:57, he basically raced with Seba Keenley all day. Yeah. No stress. The day before the race, I'm there. I'm like, got to get the swimming in the canal beforehand, so I know what it's like to swim in a canal. The guy had a lay-in, didn't bother coming to the recce swim, just because he's just that relaxed. He's had a good training block, and I think he's in good shape.
And he's awesome. A LinkedIn guy, too, right? I looked on his LinkedIn. He's got a banner photo of him on the bike. He's got him in a bike shop as his profile pic. So he's got to keep up with the.
This guy's a crowd favorite. Yeah. I want this kid. I want this kid in the top 8 of this. I mean, okay, Dan, give me what's his background? He's a. What does he come from?
He's been a triathlete. Yeah, he's done triathlon for years.
So he's been a triathlon for, gotcha. Wow. So he's a homegrown, and this is, in Britain, you actually have that. In America, it's so rare to have like an actual homegrown triathlete. I know in Britain, there are guys who just come up through short course triathlon.
Yeah, the guy's got some cockiness as well. I know he's been telling Andrew Horsfall-Turner that he can sit on his feet on the swim if he wants.
That's a no-joke swim. If he thinks he can sit on Andrew's feet, that's...
No, the opposite. He's telling Andy he can sit on his feet.
Sit on his... Oh, that's a wild take. That's the British Greg Harper. You don't make Greg sit on your feet out here. Same thing with Andrew. I know.
Got it.
We got cocky or confident. I like it. You don't know.
Yeah.
You know, both of them.
That seems to be a very young British kid thing, right? I mean, it's either you got the very humble kid, like very quiet, very humble, or just the really brash, really brash young.
Scale.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out another name here, looking at these results as I was doing a deep dive last night, and I really don't know about this guy, Dan. So Alex Woodman, coming from age group ranks, he's performed really well at big races in amateur. What do you got on?
Yeah, I put the guy loves a race. He seems to have done a fair bit, but there's not actually that much information out there. I know he's racing Ironman UK 2 weeks after Swansea, so I'm not entirely sure where his focus is. He's done a lot of the races that we have a series in the UK called Outlaw, which is almost like a tier below Challenge and Ironman, but it's where all these guys cut their teeth, they get their pro card, they race all the domestic elite guys, and he's done a lot of that. So he could very well be right in the mix, but he's just not been that much at the forefront.
Is that third overall age group in the Outlaw full race? Is that an impressive time? Is that because that's in Nottingham, right? Is that a tough course?
Yeah, course record's about 8:26, which Andrew Horsfall-Turner holds, I think.
So it's not that fast of a course then, right? Okay, so
and
actually
that would have been against amateurs.
Yeah, so him going 8:42 there is, I mean, that's solid. That's And I mean, in Ironman Nice going 8:52, that's a good course, obviously.
That's what I saw that, yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
that would have likely been a solo day out as well.
I like tier 2 for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Any other tier 1 guys that we see that we can knock out? Who's cocky or confident?
I think
the only one I can think about is Malachi Cashmore. He's a front pack swimmer. It's his debut. But
Brilliant name.
I just gone toe to toe with this guy this weekend. We did a gravel sprint triathlon.
Okay.
It was close until they said go. But he did the middle distance race the day after, zone 2, and he got out the front. I think he's in the mix from the start. Whether he's good enough to be there to the end is a different question. But he's there from the start. This
swim group is going to be so fast. I mean, this is going to be, if you got Horsfeld Turn, you got Cashmore, you got our boy Will. I mean, this could be a very, very quick swim group. Josh Lewis is a great swimmer too. Yeah.
Malachi's trademark move is he does a front flip at the beginning of the swim and then still gets out of the water first. So cocky or confident.
Oh my God.
Never mind. I was going to say, I don't know if you can put him tier 1, but after that, you might as well.
Yeah.
We got 2 guys here on the star list that are ranked pretty high, Sam Worldly and Finn Arentz, who are GB guys. Any background on them?
Worldly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam's in the Royal Marines and he's actually just handed his notice in, so he's going to be leaving to pursue being a pro. So he's all in. And I'd imagine for the last month or so has known he's going to be all in.
He's
confident. Smashes TTs.
Yeah, nice bit of progression from him.
So he's confident. We're putting him in.
Yeah, some of those time trials. So Dan, is there a pretty consistent across the country time trial culture in Britain?
Yeah,
like most towns have. Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of these stats too. I'm able to look up guys time trialing in America. I mean, we have some, but it really depends on where you're at. Like, there's
you gotta watch
very
like Alex Dowsett's videos, dude. Yeah, it's all about the local TT scene.
I love that.
It starts from the grassroots as the club weekly time trials, and the big weekend time trials.
That's why British triathlon's just crushing it. It makes so much sense. It's just set up to build good triathletes.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else tier 1?
Finn Arent's been injured for a while. He's on the comeback. Yeah. He is a local lad, lives only a couple of hours from the race, lives in Wales. He's actually the Welsh iron distance race time record holder. I think about 8:10, so he's got wheels.
Gotcha.
I'm putting him in tier 2 if he's coming back from injury.
Yeah, he really crashed hard at Canaria.
Okay.
But, I mean, front pack swim biker. Yeah, very, very strong.
With coming off an injury like that or a crash like that, he can't be in tier 1. I'm throwing him down to tier 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in, this John Dolan guy, US guy, he's got a pretty high, he's got 13 bib number.
Yeah, he's really high. He raced long course worlds. What was that? I guess it would be 3 weeks before this race would take place. He did fairly well there.
Blake, what is this MTR Natty Champ? You can't be throwing that in there. That's not.
No. This is my guy. This is a collegiate club, dude. This is a collegiate club. You see Berkeley. No, he's coached under what's his face, Dean Harper, dude. That's a legit club out there.
Which is
a good coach.
swimmer.
2024. Yeah, very, very good swimmer. Definitely. Yeah, at least tier 3. I think tier 3.
Yeah.
Tier 3.
I mean, he goes, because I mean, depending on how if he makes that front swim pack and maybe gets tagged along a little. But Dan, give us an idea. So have you done this Swansea course, Dan?
No, it can be so different year to year anyway. So it's almost not worth doing it too bad just because of the weather.
Those roads out there, is this a tight technical? Is there some tough riding out on this?
So we're talking
course?
3,500 feet of climbing. The wind forecast is fairly strong, not gusty, but a good constant strong. Yeah. And there's a couple of loops, a couple of out and backs. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for it to break up.
Okay, so
road surface poor.
So this is where not to crap on our boy John here, but it doesn't even matter if you're a strong swimmer. Then if you're not a really strong biker, you're not hanging on to the British boys here who are putting down 380 watt TTs like that.
That's why I think you have to back those British TTers. They know the territory.
All right, I'm dropping him down here. This isn't a bad guy either. John. He's out of country. Yeah, John, no offense, but
John's too close to me in the field to be too far up there.
There is a who's it? Jeremy? No, Simon Davis is a short course guy who broke in.
He lives really locally to me.
Yeah,
he's actually racing on my old wheel set, so I hope they don't break halfway around. Great athlete. He did Nice 70.3, and he on his Instagram said that he controlled the run with Swansea in mind. So. We could see a good
116 controlling it. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, and he's coming off of
Euro
solid race there.
Yeah,
and he trains with Hugo. So I mean, does
so
he
he's in like our local
train with
short
Hugo
course
Milner?
group.
Yeah, okay. Because I mean that means he can run really well if he needs to. If he's training with the likes of one of the best runners in short course right now. Period.
Yeah. They do loads of like brick sessions on a closed circuit, lots of tight, twisty stuff on the bikes.
Brutal training, I'm sure. Just such hard training.
Ollie, are you going to talk about this tall guy, Waymar?
Well, that's what I mean. He's a basketball player, first pro race. Unfortunately, how we feel about rookie pros here. You got to earn your keep. So unfortunately, we're just going to put him down here.
Not a bad swimmer. He's not a bad swimmer. Looks like he struggles on the run.
He looks like a hybrid athlete. And then you put him in the pro
man.
field. I mean, we just got love tall guys.
Dan, to you you're probably 6'3". How would you say? What's that in meters? What is he?
188 is it?
188. Yeah, 1.88. Okay. To you, is that really tall? Like, is that like, man, this guy's tall?
I'm 6'2", so to me it's okay. But in
you are a tall British man. He is a tall British man. Did you like start at center on your basketball team? Or
yeah, I was. Yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving. We got about 7 minutes before the women's.
Local boy Liam Lloyd. Well,
Liam, okay.
Yeah.
Active
How
on
much
social
weight are we
media,
putting
too.
on?
Yeah.
How much weight are you putting on sleeping in your own bed the night before a race?
we love
90
that
seconds. I think
advantage.
we rounded it off in a half.
Yep.
90 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to
So
be.
he's
It's a big deal.
He's just finished on the podium at an event called the Long Course Weekend, which is an Ironman just over 3 days. So it means that you're doing each distance, but intense, good competition, fellow pros on the podium. So he ran a 2:48 on a hilly route. So as long as he's recovered from that, okay.
All right, is there any other locals in here? Jeremy, Jack, or Thomas?
So Jeremy, are you guys claiming him or us? He's on a scholarship in the US. I think he's British.
Oh yeah, he's a Queens guy, right? Isn't he a Queens guy?
Oh, this is the Queen's kid. Okay.
Oh, I'm just gonna put chameleons for these guys.
He's come back. He's dropped a big time trial result, big power.
Yeah, and he raced Indian Wells too, and was no joke in the swim bike. So on that course, if you're going, what do you go, 25 and 202 on that bike? 202 on that bike is fast, so he can push. The run, I mean, it's a runner's run course out there in Indian Wells, and he goes 122. So I think he'll fall off coming out of T2. But I mean, he might be. It's going to be interesting to see how he rides a bike, though. If he's just like raw power, or if he could ride those British roads really well, because he's got the raw power to ride with the boys. But just going to depend on how he handles the TT bike.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack Hindle and Thomas McMahon.
Right, Jack's coming in swinging. He has turned pro this year, and he's done a couple of age group races and copped a bit of stick from the triathlon community. Various different reasons, but I think as a result of that, he's got a point to prove. He's going to turn up in the pro field and give it his all. He's had a few DNFs, so it could be hit or miss, but
he's a chameleon. He's a chameleon.
I think he's hiding in plain sight.
Okay, Thomas McMahon's LinkedIn profile pic. That's what the asterisk means. What do we got on this guy? This is the guy that won in 2022 as an amateur? No. Okay.
So he did the Outlaw Full last year, which is a local full distance race to me. And they changed it to a duathlon last minute because the water quality was poor, some algae in the water. And all the top guys made like a bit of an agreement that they were going to cruise the first 5K just to not destroy themselves, hot day out. And he just basically said, and just ran it at his own pace and put 2 minutes into everybody in the first 5K.
So he ran a 16-minute 5K to start an Ironman. That's, I mean, like 16 minutes to any top tier guy's not going to be impressive. But when you're like, hey, next thing you're doing is hopping on the bike for 112, that is insane. That's a wild
imagine people were giving him many turns on the bike.
Is he a Marlboro Light?
Dude, that's damn near a cocky or confident move. Ripping a 16-minute
I just love that confidence. I 100%.
Yeah.
Him and Will need to get together during this race at some point and work together because they're just going to be. Yeah, I love that.
Okay,
that's unreal.
All right, there we go. That's the men's for Tier 2, 70.3 Swansea.
I like it.
And this episode has been brought to you by Adra Labs. They just launched their first protein bar. Built on the latest sports nutrition science, 20 grams of plant-based protein and 2 times the leucine to help you recover like a pro, even if you race like a mid-packer. It's clean, compact, and doesn't melt all over your bag. Hit up adralabs.com. That's ADDRALABS.com and use code ONYERLEFT25 for 25% off your first order. Thank you, Adra.
The chocolate cherry one's fire.
Is it? I love the berry.
Do I get like a welcome pack as part of the show or something? Or?
Yeah, right, man. We can't afford to ship you anything, especially with these tariffs.
Yeah. Once the tariffs dropped in, we're sending you a full package. Don't you worry.
Done.
All right, moving on to the women's. We got 8 women's for the tier 2. Not a deep start list, but nonetheless, we got some hitters on here. So tier 1 for the women's. Who we got, Dan? Who sticks out?
I said earlier, you're at the front from the start. You're in with a real chance. Hannah Monday, pro debut. Hannah's a legit swimmer. I've seen her firsthand. I've seen Harry Palmer struggling to hold her feet in a swim. So she is legit front pack. And in this group, she might be off the front.
And she's a doctor, which I just love. That's who was the I need to get the stats. An Aussie woman I know who was a very good pro. She might still be racing, who was a doctor too. I need to look up that name, but
yeah,
I mean,
I know Hannah, although she works
impressive.
full time. She commits a lot of time to her training. She structures a session, her work rota. She'll do like 8 days in a row, and then go over to Mallorca for 7 or 8 days, and then come back. And she's really given everything this year.
Good for her.
There was a guy who is a doctor, right? Evan in Australia. Is that who you're talking about?
There's a guy and a gal. The guy I know we did on our Canes, Raising Canes podcast. Mm-hmm. Yes, that he was a very good biker, like very, very good biker, but mid-pack guy. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw Daisy Davies up here. What a legendary,
another great name.
Yeah, absolute great name. She came 5th at Nice last week. Mm-hmm. And 2nd at Challenge Champs last year. Why is she tier 2 then?
That's why she's highlighted green. She could go up.
She could go up. All right, we'll put her in legit.
Her and Hannah are both should be tier 1, but they're on that line. Yeah,
got you. Okay.
She's also, I saw she had some success at Xterra Short Track, which I gather is like short and intense. This course is twisty, is technical. A better bike handler will save some time.
Mm-hmm. That's a great
so
Dan.
We might see her tomorrow as well.
Yep. And then the other one that was somebody we probably should be bumping up, but we'll put that is Rachel Brown up there too. Dan, do you know Rachel personally or know anything about Rachel personally there? She's had some good results.
I haven't come across her at all, to be honest. Before
okay.
Now.
She's a Brit. I don't know where she's from.
70.3 race winner, Warsaw.
Is that amateur or is that pro?
I think pro, no?
That was pro. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, she should not be on this list. That's our bad.
Yeah.
Fuck. Mm-hmm. I get what you did here, Blake with the green. Okay, my bad.
Now she's also she trains in Girona too, which means she's probably a full-time pro. I'm assuming.
Got to be a hitter.
I just assume that everybody who lives in Girona is training full-time. I don't know if there is some. I don't know if there is somebody who's like also maybe working at a coffee shop, but I assume if you're a doctor,
we'll see him tomorrow. Don't worry.
That's true.
I think Girona attracts athletes and people with a specific.
We're going to see one of those guys.
There's a few of them.
Now, do we see anybody else in this top tier? I don't from based on our notes.
No, if we're gonna go top tier, should probably be in tomorrow's video. Then I think we leave it there.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Okay, tier 2. Let's talk about Dimidy Lee.
Yeah.
Absolute.
What a resume.
Rolodex of a resume.
Yeah. The best, like, I mean, 2013, she's been racing. She has 28 podiums. She's got the best resume in this race in the women's field. It's just, she is 41, correct? Is that what we agreed before?
Yeah, I think she's
41.
Yeah.
And she's done some stuff.
So she's also, so post-COVID, really when you look at her results post-COVID is where there's obviously a big drop-off there from what she was doing in, 2019, guys, does anybody look at her results list was nuts in 2019.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think she raced 10, 11 times, something like that. Just a racer.
She's based in Thailand.
Yep. And then she just, 2022, it started to get rough. She DNFs at 73 World. She DNFs at Ironman Hawaii or Kona. It's like coming into this year, she's got 3 races, 2 of them DNF, 1 at Challenge Sir Baniyas. She goes 8th, 28, 248, 125. So who knows how solid of a day across the board that was or what that field looked like. Probably on the downturn in her career. But, out of respect, you got to put her probably, I don't know, third tier here with a really respectful name.
I think she was one of the riders that punctured in Hamburg as well, with the glass from the climate protesters.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
We're going to put her in tier 2 of the tier 2, based on experience, in my opinion.
Out of respect.
Especially with this course.
Yeah.
I will throw Molly Seville up there with her. Second AG 70.3 Worlds in 2024.
Just coming off an 8th at 70.3 West Friesland and Netherlands too. Solid result.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
This is still for the Brit girls. Like, this is quite early in the season. Still, we've only really had a couple of months of like race season, so there's a lot of time for breakthrough still.
Yeah, that's and this is almost the exact opposite of when we were talking about all of our Australian athletes. Dan is like, yeah, British athletes now are coming into their beginning of the season prime. Australian athletes are cooked at this point. I mean, they've been racing since January basically. So
yeah, you're either coming out of your break or going into a break.
Yep.
Jasmine Holmes, GB girl, got some solid age group results. Seems like she's got some swimming pedigree.
Yeah. Olympic trials qualifier 2016 is what I have.
I couldn't see what her stroke was. I think she did a bit of IM. So whether she's freestyle specific or not, I don't know. She's certainly
she might start out,
but I'm still backing her freestyle.
Get some space.
Yeah,
nothing more intimidating than somebody starting with fly.
Just a little bit of dinner served. They're coming to the table with something cooked, and they're going to serve up something on this race, in my opinion. These three women.
I mean, Jasmine literally got a pro card like 6 weeks ago, so this is a real step into the new for her.
She's serving something. All right,
this is going to be a fun race to watch these swims come out. I mean, this could be really in the men's and women's field. This could be like crazy fast swim groups.
There's hitter swimmers.
Yeah, Tina Christman. We got scouting report on her ex-rower turned triathlete a la Nikki Bartlett. What does that mean?
So Nikki Bartlett was a rower turned triathlete, and she's done pretty all right. So
Cam worked
yeah.
We all know their VO2 maxes are pretty impressive. So is she a dinner serve type of deal, or?
Well, she was training somewhere in France last year, and then she posted up saying she just randomly saw that the British champs was on middle distance, so she was going to do it, and she came over and won it last year.
Oh
so
my gosh, she's
legit.
She's
but
little
she's
injury,
posted
carrying
a bit of a
some bone stress issues. Yeah. Okay. Engine.
All right.
Engine. Yeah.
Eve
Clark. Eve Clark. Right. She's actually the girlfriend of Malachi Cashmore, who we had on the men's side.
There you go.
There we go.
Trouble.
Dan, what's a fun name for a triathlete from Ireland? What's a fun category name here? A non-offensive name to Irish folk.
You probably narrowed it down too far there with your second requirement. I don't know. I daren't.
You're like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Yeah.
I mean, coming on here is a big risk, to be honest, to the brand.
Yeah, I was going to do Lucky Charms.
We're getting canceled in the UK. If you,
I mean, I posted somebody's ass today, so Lucky Charms.
So Eve's an interesting one because while she's only a second pro race, she's done a lot of para-tri guiding for the short course world.
Yeah,
and that's not super specific to this, but you're in this ultra high performance environment. You're getting the support from your governing body.
You're still
on
riding
these trips, coaches, support. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be well sorted.
I used to know some of those guys from America too, and they are fit. I mean, like Ben Hoffman did that too. A good friend of mine, Colin Riley's done it too. I mean, there are some strong people in that world for sure.
You need to be good to be a guide. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. These days you got to be fit.
Yeah. And therefore, because of that training, really good bike handler. So again, on this circuit, it could be a force we reckon with.
All right, guys. Awesome. I think that does it. Tier 2 Ironman 70.3 Swansea. And before we leave, let's give a shout out to our new sponsor, Grindstone Productions. This episode has been supported by Grindstone Collection Strategies, the people who help pro triathletes get paid when prize money goes missing. If you've been ghosted by a race organizer or your winnings are still processing, it's time to call in the professionals. Grindstone president is a fellow pro triathlete and fan of the show, Josh Monda, aka Money Monda. This is your go-to guy when you want to let people know you are serious about your money. Visit grindstonecollections.com, fill out the contact form, make sure you mention your friends at On Your Left sent you. Thanks, Grindstone.
Absolutely. Let's go, Josh.
That was beautiful, guys.
I can't believe that's actually a thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Dan, awesome having